Hey, Jay.
What's up, man?
How's it going, dude?
I have a lot of tabs open, which means that it kind of seems like we have a lot to talk about today.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, this we could talk about this thumbnail.
Yeah, it's all right,
It's
but
really
you
not one of
know,
my better
this
ones.
is this is notoriously a really slow time for PSVR. But the good thing is, man, we've kicked off the year with two amazing releases in Wanderer VR
Uh-huh.
and Zenith: The Last City, which were freaking awesome. Highly recommend.
Mm.
And we've been getting PSVR2 reveal stuff left and right, which
Yeah.
is also really cool. There's rumored stuff happening somewhat soon or maybe delayed. We'll have to wait and see. And we're still getting a couple, one or two releases, but this is typically the slowest time of the year, dating back every single year. So nothing new to see. So I'm just happy to be here, kicking it with you, man, kicking it with the cats, and actually have some pretty cool things to talk about today. At least like one or two of them.
This that wasn't funny at all. What are we doing? That wasn't funny. I feel like that was apologizing for the show we're about to have in a roundabout way. It's going to be great, and we love that you
Wholesome.
guys
It
are
was a
here.
wholesome intro.
Oh
Okay,
my
don't ruin my wholesome
God!
intro.
Can we do a Mary Fuck Kill? God damn! All right, man. Let's start the show.
Woo.
This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube, 6 p.m. Eastern, live. If you're watching it right now, you're probably watching it live. If you're watching it later, you could possibly be watching it live, or I don't know, you could pretend. We don't mind that. If you don't like watching things live, don't forget you could also watch this or listen to this, I suppose, in podcast form. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services of your choice. Maybe of our choice. You don't get to pick any of them. Although it does seem like we're on all of them, which is pretty fucking crazy. My name's Bryan popping this channel right here, PSVR without parole. See that thing right there? My name, my channel. And that guy over there. Wait, I tried to point to my channel. Didn't. There it is. That guy over there, AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, man?
What is up,
Johnny
man?
No Pockets was in the chat, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see Batman. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Really, everyone's saying it's good." And I said, "Lower your expectations," and he just put like a frowning face. It's good, man. Just lower your expectations. Don't. It's always best to lower your expectations. Just like when you're watching this show, you come here for amazing PSVR news. You might get it. Still, lower your expectations because it is Monday. What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday. And we know that Mondays usually suck, but we are going to make your Monday suck just a little bit less, except for Johnny No Pockets.
Speaking of lowering your expectations, AJ, I watched Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. I held off. I didn't watch it as soon as it came out. I didn't go to the theater. I didn't do the home premiere thing because it's too expensive. Because I heard so many bad things about it and heard that it was really fucking terrible. As it turns out, I had a lot of fun watching it. I was able to rent it for like $5-6, whatever the going rate on Amazon is right now. And I thought, well, I'll finally give it a shot. Even if it's bad, it could be a fun watch. And maybe going in with that mentality was the way to do it because I don't think it was a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it was really fun to watch. I think that if you're a Resident Evil fan, there's a lot of shit shoved into that. They kind of like mashed the first two games into a movie. They threw every single character they could possibly cram into the movie at you, and there's a bunch of it's. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as far as not Resident Evil games, it's the best Resident Evil thing ever made. Which
I have to see
setting the
that.
bar
I have
really
to
low.
see it to believe it. You're saying basically the easy way to say it, Brian, is just it's the best Resident Evil movie. Like that's all you
Yeah.
gotta say.
Well, I mean, but
Then
I
it's
want to.
everything because there's cool T-shirts, there's cool posters, there's cool. You're not competing against those. Just say other movies.
Sure, and I actually want to go as far as saying it's better than like a lot of the animated stuff that I've seen too, because like a lot of the animated Resident Evil stuff has either gone like just in really strange directions or not really hit the nail on the head. And I think this, there's a good cheese factor to it, and it's a lot of fun. It's okay. It's okay. It's just again low expectations, but I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. As soon as I was done with it, it was over, and then there was a bonus post-credit scene that, no surprise, did more of what the movie did, which
No
was
spoilers.
oh yeah, no, absolutely not. But did more of what the movie did, I guess I feel like it's got to be commended in some way. Cyber Expanse VR with a $5 tip says, "What's up, homies? Hey, what is up, homies?
What up, Cyber Expanse? When is your VR game coming out? I don't think he actually has a VR game, everyone, but Cyber Expanse VR just sounds like a VR game that I would love. It does. I promise you. It's like raw data. Who knew?
Yeah, it does have that kind of ROM extraction feel to it, doesn't it? We never got ROM extraction. Come on, First Contact, get off your ass and give us something worth playing. ROM extraction." Do you even remember ROM extraction? Am I the only one that remembers this game? That was supposed to be the first
I thought
Contact.
I thought it came out.
Oh yeah, so like PC and shit. It never got to PlayStation VR. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
I don't know.
I think I have it, but
yeah.
Anyways, man.
Yeah.
We got some stories to talk about here. As much as I'd love to do a review on movies and other things, I've been playing PS3 games. We should probably talk about some PlayStation VR here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. I'm just here to hang out for the next hour. So, whatever you want to talk about is good with me. We should probably kick it off with the thing that's been, dude. Some days you wake up and you go, man, I really hope there's something cool to talk about in GAMESCAST. I hope there's gonna be something cool as far as like video game news or PlayStation
State of
VR
Play
news.
announcement.
State of Play. And today woke up and all the buzz was that like Sony had acquired some Konami IP, and
Privately.
privately. Which what does that mean? What does Sony
It means
acquire?
nobody knows about it.
Right. And of course, before you even look into it, your brain starts churning, all the gears start turning, and you're like, could it be Metal Gear? Could it be Castlevania? It's probably Silent Hill, right? But the second you look into it, AJ, what do we find?
The second you look into it, it kind of falls apart immediately. Just like most of these Konami rumors that we've been hearing for years now. And it's just, there's just no concrete evidence. There's no, when we get these certain rumors about things, there's usually like a connection with it. Mm-hmm. These are just like, oh, my friend just, someone just happened to tell me. Or like, like I get you, there's a way to protect sources. But there's also an abundance of just, this is happening. And that's it. It's like the Metal Gear Solid rumor. Now, it's not to say that these are like 100% not going to happen, but it certainly doesn't. There's no like logical explanation for these sometimes. But yeah, man, most of the time, anything Konami related. Look, let's say it does happen. That would be amazing. That would be the best thing ever. But when it comes to Konami, that is the last company that I want to get excited about, because just history has shown that, that they don't have any involvement in this stuff. We talked about Silent Hill for 2 years. Now it's Metal Gear Solid. Is this going to be another 2 years of hearing nothing about it? And like I said, not to say that it won't or can't happen, but there's just no good evidence there's no good evidence for it.
I mean, there's no good evidence for it, but but I really think people need to get on the ball here. I really do think that Sony needs to step up to the plate. With Microsoft acquiring all these different studios that are like, I mean, there's the last few acquisitions have been gigantic, and the fact is that Capcom. I'm sorry, Capcom could be thrown into this conversation too, but I meant to say Konami is just really letting all of their franchises die. They've got they've got Metal Gear, they've got Castlevania, they've got Silent Hill, and I mean, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Konami was one of the
So
most
like the big
prolific.
three.
Yeah, they're one of the most prolific game developers for, I mean, almost 2 decades, and everything that they had was gold. And the longer that they wait before they revitalize these franchises, or even farm them out, and or whatever, or allow Sony to purchase the rights to them, they don't even have to sell. They don't even have to sell the IPs or whatever. They just have to license the IPs out to studios that can do the job properly. And Konami doesn't seem interested in making video games anymore, which is totally fine. But why would you just? It's just bad business sense to just sit on these properties and let them basically expire, right? To the point where
Right.
nobody cares about them anymore. You wait 10 years and like no one. I mean, who's going to be like, oh man, sweet, a new
Right. If you
Castlevania
wait
game?
too long, it can die out. Well, I think their separation with Kojima has a lot to do with that. I mean that it would be hard for them to make a Metal Gear Solid game without him. That is up to
As
the
proven by
standards.
Survive.
Ugh. Um, and the only option they would have is doing a remake, and I don't know, Enthusiasm enthusiast, love the name, says Metal Gear Solid VR is a dream come true. I would never get sunlight. Yeah. Uh, if like for instance that Metal Gear Solid rumor that it's like a PSVR to flat screen hybrid, like a Metal Gear Solid remake in VR, that is like Sony dropping the mic type announcement. I mean, that would sell so many headsets, but unfortunately, it's a little bit more complicated to make that happen. Um, and I would love nothing more than that. I mean, it would be like a mind blowing thing. It would make everybody on a mainstream level instantly jump to VR and be like, wow, like this is amazing. But it's just not really the reality that I see before us.
Right on.
I hope so, though.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Now let's try in the game feeling with the $5 tip. Says the hype is real in the greater VR community for PlayStation VR2. I'm seeing it all over the PC VR pages I follow. This is going to be the headset to own.
Yeah.
I think that is a very true statement. I think that is an understatement. If you could
Yeah.
even, I mean, you said it very well, Niles Ryan. But I do think it's an understatement. I think there's going to be the rebirth of VR. And people are like, oh, this is the year that VR takes off. This is the year that VR takes off. VR is set to succeed. And we've been hearing that like pretty much once a year for the last like decade. And it hasn't happened. And I think we're finally there with PSVR2. Everything we've heard has been absolutely amazing. And I think people want to play AAA VR games, man. I think people are ready to play like some really visually impressive things. When it comes to graphics, like I'm not a graphics whore, but when it comes to VR, I am. I'm so excited for the next gen because like you want VR to be as high res as possible, as realistic as possible in those games where they're shooting for photorealism. And for the first time pretty much ever, we're going to have an affordable VR headset and developers that are on board to make games for that affordable headset.
Yeah, it's not just graphics. I mean, it's everything together. They want flat screen quality games in VR. And yes, it has taken some time to get there. It will continue to take some time, but it's going to happen eventually. And we're waiting for that snowball effect where it's just like, you know, this gets full VR support, this gets full VR support, this gets full VR support, and it just snowballs until almost every game or 50% of the games that come out that are not only graphically impressive but gameplay. They have like lots of depth, and the world is fleshed out. That's the dream, and yeah,
Yep.
we're going to be one step closer to that this upcoming PSVR 2.
Yeah, we love it. We love indie devs, but you can't live on indies alone. And in PSVR 2, I think is finally going to deliver the nice balance that we need to strike between indies and AAA games, single A games, all of that, making it easier for everybody to kind of get on board. Grizzly Bear King with a $5 tip says the Twitter account at VG New Insider who leaked the Sony Konami rumor said he was trolling and it was all a lie. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the best part about this leak is that when you look at the guy's like Twitter handle, his name, I don't know. I'm guessing he changed this afterward, but still, I looked at the rumor and I went and looked at the source of the rumor and the source's name was game journalists don't fact check. And I was like, oh. So, and he's even going on a rant about, he's like, dude, like I totally made this up. This is just like a mock, what are those, like those funny accounts,
Like a
whatever.
parody account or something.
Yeah, parody account. Thank you.
Yep.
And he's like, and like this was all like that's what this Twitter account was. It was never supposed to be like for real, and people are reporting on it now and not even fact checking anything.
Yeah.
So at least when people report on Without Parole stuff, they say, hey, it's the guy that leaked Horizon and the guy that leaked the full specs, and he doesn't mess around. So there's some credibility there at least.
Let's hope so. Time to play. I do have the Twin Snakes on GameCube. I'm going to get the retro stream stuff back up and running soon. I feel like I'm going to have a little bit of free time here and there. I've been sort of getting on a better schedule. And so I want to be able to strike a nice balance between the PSVR channel and the retro channel. But thanks for asking. Yeah, I love Twin Snakes. I love Metal Gear Solid. We all love Metal Gear Solid. Let's be fair. AJ, let's move on to the next news story, man. This is actual news instead of some fucking troll on the internet.
This is not only actual news. This is something that's really cool and something I hope to potentially see. Now, it is a patent, so we do have to take it with a grain of salt. As we know, disclaimer, patents never mean they're going to make it into the final product or become a final product thing. However, there is a patent filed from Sony. I think it was on Friday, and it is regarding headset haptics in conjunction with surround sound. And when we say, this is the interesting part. So it is basically a physical headset that has haptic sensors placed all over it. And it's not an HMD headset, but it is like an earphones headset, like what we're both wearing right now. The cool thing is that you can, we already know that the PSVR2 has a headset, rotary motor thing in the headset. And if the headphones have haptics along the headband and then on the earphones themselves, that combined with the rotary motor and the the haptics in the controllers, that's a lot of haptics going on and could potentially unleash some pretty amazing things.
Yeah, this article says the patent itself describes using the haptics. This is Games Radar, I believe, that we're referencing. The patent itself describes using haptics built into a given headset to communicate 3D audio cues to the player. More specifically, the patent describes using haptic sensors in the headset to measure the player's head relation to audio objects in a video game. With that in mind, a magnitude based on the distance to the audio object, frequency, and audio data based for that specific audio object would then be used to determine the control of the haptic feedback of the sensors. Wow, what a fucking mess of words that was. To summarize, we should have started with the summary. It's a technology for introducing a feeling of touch to video game experience, akin to how the PlayStation DualSense controllers introduce a feeling of touch through the player's hands. In an ideal scenario, imagine haptics being able to tease the feeling of wind running through the player's hair when an audio cue might not be appropriate, or movement increasing in intensity as players move toward an important noise.
Yes. I don't know. That sounded like the Realm iCentral article. I'm not sure, but maybe they both mentioned the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're basically just talking about how it could be, when we first heard about the rotary motor thing or haptics in the headset, we were like, oh my God, we're going to be able to, in a game, walk outside in the rain and feel the pit pat, all over the headset. And we thought that would be really cool. But then we found it's just a rotary motor, which is, limited, still really cool, but is more just like a rumble. Not as precise, doesn't have the precision and the dynamics of the haptics in the DualSense controllers. But yeah, it can simulate things like, they've said before, like it could help with the pulsing. What I want to see is, what I think is really cool about this headset are things like we mentioned. I mean, you said like wind blowing, can simulate wind blowing. can now, with if this becomes a thing,
Yeah.
a headset an accessory with haptics in it, which I would absolutely be down to get because I always play VR with headphones. Um, it could be cool. We could finally have that sensation of rain, or different things that are simulated that go with the audio. Like if the Tempest 3D audio is supposedly like really advanced, audio, allows for really advanced audio design, and if there's different noises happening and there could be a little buzzing along with that, there's this opens up a lot of possibilities for some developers to have some fun with and integrate some really cool features.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that it could be an accessory for an accessory, right? I think it's interesting for them to say, "Hey, the PSVR2 headset it fucking kicks ass and does all this shit," but it adds a minimal amount of haptics in the headset, helps to reduce motion sickness. I don't know if Sony has talked about this publicly or not, or if Without Parole is the only ones that has actually. Uh, I at this point I can't remember what's leaked and what's been confirmed on the PlayStation blog. Um, have they publicly said that there's one rotary motor, or was that something from like the uh, the developer
I
summit?
think that's confirmed now, but I know that was originally from the summit,
Okay,
and then that came out. But
so
yeah,
right, so yeah, that was originally from the summit, and so it's interesting for them to be like, okay, well, there's a minimal amount of haptics in the headset to deal with like motion sickness and a little bit of extra immersion while playing a game. But then we have this other thing. It's sort of like how you can buy a haptics vest,
right.
um, or butt kickers, that kind of thing, to really add to the immersion when you're playing games. And this is just one more thing that you can throw on your head that you don't have to, right? That'll keep the price of the PSVR2 headset down. But then if you really want to do this and get these special headphones that work with the PSVR2, then boom, here you go. It's probably going to cost a little bit of money, but add to the overall experience, which I think is cool because I think it's really important that they keep the PlayStation VR2 headset price, you know, in in a reasonable range. I think people saying it's going to be $300 are kind of like out of their minds. I think $400 is probably more accurate. But then, like, if something like this would have pushed it to 500, well, then it's absolutely a good idea to keep this as a separate
Separate.
optional
Yeah,
accessory, right?
definitely. But yeah, and allows non VR gamers to get in on some of the action too, which is you sell more. It's a smart business decision to have that as just an option, and yeah, it could be many accessories added in the future. Aim controller 2, baby. Let's make it happen. Let's do this.
Okay, that works. AJ, I always find it kind of funny the way that we sort of stumble into some of our news. Um, the other day, I put out a video about every upcoming PlayStation VR2 game that we're aware of that we can talk about. And some of it's like 100% confirmed from the developers, and some of it is just like rumor and speculation, that kind of thing. And so I put together a video, which the second I published it, I was like, oh, this is already outdated. I thought of 3 more games I could have added to it. But when I tweeted about it, we got a response from Synthesis Universe developer who's making a game. Says in his response to the tweet was not that's not all of them. That's not every PSVR2 game. And so he used the hashtag Volcanic Core. Is that what it was? And
Yes.
and so Volcanic Core, when you look at that, you find a game by Synthesis Universe, and apparently he's trying to tell us that his game Volcanic Core is coming to PlayStation VR2. And here's the trailer playing right down here.
Not exactly a cutting edge PSVR 2 push the hardware kind of game. More like a little bite sized thing. But if you look at the other stuff this guy does, he does have good reviews. I think maybe he gets a lot of positive reaction towards his maybe art design or integration with music.
Hmm.
I think people appreciate that. I do think artistic like value holds a lot of weight over just like stunning graphics or whatnot. But you look at it and it looks kind of like it reminds me of Battlezone.
Yeah, the description over on the Steam page says, "Face five forgive face." 5 unforgiving pilots, and if you are worthy, fight a near unbeatable giant boss. Improve your skills in 12 challenging areas that will test all aspects of piloting. Improving on 90s arcade games like Cyber Sled, Virtual On, and Battlezone. You have 5 vehicles, unique weapons to choose from, 12 challenge areas with hours of play, a trench run, shooting range, target practice, giant mazes, survival, mega boss, and then a very organic musical experience like no other. Impacts, motions, and events are all part of your vehicle's musical track. So interesting for sure. I like his inspirations. I remember. Have you ever played Cyber Sled?
Man, I was just thinking about that. Why does that sound so? I know I had to have.
I remember when I was young, my buddy,
Sounds so familiar.
my best friend Andrew and I, we both loved video games, and that was kind of our bond. We were at an arcade and we played this game called Cyber Sled, and it was very, very polygonal, but it was a 1v1. It was like combat on the Atari 2600, except
I played this on PS1. That's how I know about it.
So he and I
don't know
spent a
if that's
couple
the same.
bucks playing Cyber Sled against each other in the arcade. And then when my dad came to pick us up, I was like, "Hey, we just played this game called Cyber Sled for the last hour, and it was amazing." And he goes, "Isn't that on PlayStation?" Because I had just gotten a PlayStation 1 recently. And I was like, "I don't know." And so we went to like KB Toys or something like that, and there was Cyber Sled up on the wall for like, I don't know, it was like super cheap, 10, 20, 15, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was discounted because it was like a launch title. And so that was my introduction to Cyber Sled. It wasn't nearly as good on PS1. The frame rate was kind of crappy.
Yeah. Well, Battlezone is when you look at it too, it's like visually you're like meh, but it was actually really fun to play with friends and stuff. So be keeping an eye on this in the future. Not gonna be blow you away PSVR2 game, but hey, if it's really fun to play, then I'm down to mix it up some.
Yeah, and like no offense to the developer at all. I'm sure he's very talented, but I do question like how far into development this is for PSVR2. I wonder if he has a dev kit. I wonder if it's one of those things where a lot of developers will say, "Hey, our plan is to bring this to PSVR2," but they've never met with Sony. They're not a Sony partner. That's sort of
Bring us the PSVR1. Like, give me this on PSVR1, right?
Yeah.
Forget PSVR2 for this. Give it to us this year or something.
Yeah, we've got some time to kill. Definitely bring it over to us. B Tribble in the chat says, Cyber Sled, yeah, it totally looks like that. I love flat shaded polygon games. Man, so do I. That brings me to like a different era of gaming. Like I absolutely loved like Virtua Racing when that first came out, flat shaded polygons. I remember 4D boxing on PC. I mean, so many great games. I don't know. It was like the very beginning of 3D. I loved it.
Never mind.
What?
Remember Cyber Sled? Yeah, I remember.
Did you ever play Cyber Sled? Cyber Sled? Yeah. Did you ever play Cyber Sled on weed? Waleed is now a Game Cat, specifically a White Tiger with the Canadian $2 tip. Says, "Happy Monday, guys. I'm imagining Gran Turismo 7 on PlayStation VR 2.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are playing GT7, man. And you and I were talking about that a little bit. What's your plan for that?
I don't know. I bought Elden Ring first because I had to, and I've been streaming it in Discord.
I didn't have a choice. They held a gun to my head.
It was calling to me.
Yeah.
Well, Horizon Forbidden West I'm going to get when it goes on sale because I just mainline it, really. I might, if I have a little bit of extra, if I got a couple extra bucks, I will pick up GT7, maybe preview it a little bit. Obviously, it's not officially announced, so it'd be kind of weird, but since I believe so strongly that it is coming to PlayStation VR 2 as a launch title and have good reason to believe that, evidence that maybe it would be worth looking into. But I really want to play it in VR. It's just 10 times more amazing in VR.
Yeah, I agree. So something that's, not at all confirmed for VR, but we're keeping a close eye on is EA Motive's upcoming Dead Space remake. Excuse me. They just tweeted out that they tweeted out a countdown, right? And they're going to be delivering some development nonsense, an early look at development of Dead Space remake.
Right. They have a new update, just some developer. the early footage. The game is early in development. And the reason we're following this really is because, they haven't announced any VR mode or anything. But this is a good candidate for VR support, I think. And the biggest connection I could see is that they made Star Wars Squadrons, and that was a hybrid game. A great example that we don't talk about that being a hybrid game enough. I talk about No Man's Sky all the time and Resident Evil and stuff, but yeah, we don't talk about Squadrons, which is actually really, really good. And EA has dipped their toes in VR a few times. This is the same studio creating this that made Squadrons, so it's just one that we're going to be keeping an eye on. So without PSVR2, not without it having a big showcase and this game being really early, not necessarily expecting anything here, but just something to keep your eye on if you're interested in the Dead Space franchise. I mean, it's Dead Space 1, so definitely interested.
What's kind of funny about this, to me, in my head, everything about this would be perfect on PlayStation VR 2, right? The remake seems like the perfect time. Enough time. I don't feel like enough time has gone by to even remake this thing, right? And I felt the same thing about Demon Souls. To be honest with you, it's like, yes, you can.
Still looks pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it looked amazing on PS3, and I think it still looks damn good.
Yeah, it does.
So it's like for me, the reason to remake this is VR support. And I mean, obviously, they're just doing it because they can make a shitload of money off of it. But you and I and Dan from Electric Hat, a bunch of people, we were talking about like Elden Ring today, and talking about how it would work in VR if they ever made a VR version, if it should be first person, third person, what the deal is, if it should be played with a gamepad or motion controls. And I'm starting to wonder the same thing about Dead Space, honestly, because as great as I think it would be in first person, it'd be super scary, and like, as soon as you pick up the what's the laser gun that you have, whatever.
Oh God, I can't remember.
As soon as you have weapons, it's great, but there's a lot of like stomping in that game, and I know that there's like, you can swing your arms, and it's like, but everything has this really heavy feel to it, and I feel like you'd lose that in VR because your arms are gonna just like swing as fast as you can swing, and Isaac always moved very slow and deliberately, and I'm wondering if that's something you could even make work properly in first person VR mode.
You'd have to redesign it again. Keep in mind, Dead Space had a move controller game spin-off, plasma cutter.
Cutter. Thank you, Brucey.
Called Dead Space Extraction, yeah, and that was a rail shooter. So you can, I don't know, they maybe could do a spin-off or something, a VR mode, side mode or something. I don't know, but. Yeah. A standalone. I'd be fine with a Dead Space standalone game, like kind of like Extraction was. It was pretty good.
Yeah, Extraction was good. It was definitely underrated. I had a lot of fun with that. They brought that to PlayStation 3 after the Wii, right?
Yes. Yeah. HD.
Right. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on this. I don't think, even when this countdown to the behind the scenes development stuff hits, I don't think we're going to be seeing anything about a VR mode or PSVR 2, because I still think we're still waiting for Sony to do kind of a blowout on their own stage. Don't you think that? Or do you think developers are just going to start coming out of the woodwork and being like, Village, PSVR 2?
So a lot of the stuff that you have leaked from the summit, of all this, you look at a lot of the stuff has been mentioned. Something that hasn't been officially mentioned by Sony yet is the thing that we still have yet to see, and that is the games. And, we've seen one little teaser of Horizon Call of the Mountain, and that is it from Sony directly. So, yeah, man, we may not even have seen the best that, like, obviously we haven't seen the best that's yet to come. And yeah, it's the games. We haven't heard them say hybrids. We know about it.
Yeah.
But we haven't heard them say it.
Which is crazy because, like, whether people believe me when I talk about PSVR 2 and leak shit, whatever, the fact is like the term hybrid game has gotten out there and people just use it all the time now. So like, whether they know that came from me or not, it's just become like a fact of life. But yet we haven't actually heard Sony use that term yet, and I think it's going to be amazing. I think we've got you know, 11 or 12 months until this thing comes out, until PSVR2 hits. And I think that if they sort of space out all of the things they can talk about over the course of the next year, and you know they focus on UI one month, and they focus on this 1 month and that 1 month, I really think that an entire stage presence where they just talk about hybrid games and say, look, Assassin's Creed, look at how it goes from blah 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 to blah blah blah, and show exactly what they mean by hybrid games, and like really redefine that, you know, so that everybody understands we're not talking about Resident Evil 7 just boom, brought into VR, you know, with DualShock 4
Right.
support. We're talking about getting your hands in there and making it feel like it was designed for VR, and that's what a hybrid game really is.
Yeah, and these were like bullet points. I mean, these were important, big, large bullet points as part of that. So, yeah, I think that they're going to have some huge surprises for us for sure.
Yeah.
This wasn't something that was like heard through a person. These were things that were presented to developers as huge points. And yeah, I think as far as I know, that's like one of the last remaining things to see from what they've shown us so far.
And so if everyone's kind of holding back and for because really it is funny whenever you hear somebody go, we're making a PSVR2 game. It tends to be a really small indie studio that's like, oh, okay, cool, well, we're very happy for you. But you would think that Capcom would be out there being like, hey, Village is coming to PSVR2, and there's very clear reasons at this point why that hasn't happened. It's because we are waiting. So Sony wants to be the one to like really fucking show you game after game after game after game after game on their stage when they're ready, and say, hey, the launch is going to be absolutely insane. And so I think so if Dead Space ends up being a VR game, I think that's where we're going to see it. Like Sony would definitely want that on their stage, right?
Yes. Any known IP that is. Where did I see this recently? Anyways, the reason it was, I don't know who I heard this from recently, but I thought it was a great point in that just like when you use a well-known IP that has established everything, it's so successful because you don't even have to like market it, and it saves them a bunch of money. When you have this kind of thing, you save so much time and money on marketing and all sorts of stuff because people already go, oh, I know what this is. Like, I want it. That sounds amazing, without even like seeing it. They just hear it and they're like, what? And so,
even though we've gone an entire generation without a Dead Space game, I don't think there's any gamers out there that doesn't know what Dead Space is. So you save yourself having to sell people on the concept because they're already down.
Right.
As long as they're like, it's Dead Space 1, not Dead Space 3. That was fucking garbage. Right. All right, man. Let's talk about a game that was announced this week, kind of out of nowhere, man. Ragnarok, which is kind of killing it over on Steam VR with amazing reviews. Everyone seems to love this thing. The developers tweeted out a picture of a dude on dev team carrying a PSVR headset, saying that their next challenge, the next challenge they're willing to tackle, is bringing their game to PSVR, which is PSVR 1. It's gonna be. I really hope we keep hearing these stories throughout the course of the year, man, because let's get some PSVR 1 games on that release schedule.
Yo, let's not only get more PSVR 1 games as we wait. Let's get some kick-ass PSVR 1 games, and I am excited, guys. No. I am excited for this one because it is a rhythm game about banging drums and blasting metal music and being a Viking. And all of that shit sounds amazing. I've also heard really great things about this game from a bunch of people, a bunch of cats firsthand. Thank you for always letting me know. It also has overwhelmingly positive reviews, over almost 2,000 reviews on Steam. This is by Wanna Dev Studio, Ragnarok, man. This game seems like it is a lot of fun, really good. And for me personally, it hits home because it's got a lot of metal and heavy, loud, percussion-driven music. I mean, I don't care about the Viking part as much, but the metal, that's just a plus. Let's just say that's just like, that is certainly a plus, though.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so when I first heard about this, I was like, oh man, another rhythm game. This is, certainly not what VR needs. And like, it depends. I guess if like rhythm games are your absolute favorite thing on the face of the planet, then you're gonna have a different stance on that. I know, like whenever I'm like, we need more horror games, people are like, there's already enough fucking horror games on the platform, Brian. We got it, enough. But I'm like, no, we need more. And so I get it. If you love rhythm games, then you probably want more. But like I feel like I've kind of had enough. Um, and but when I started looking into this, I kind of started getting excited. I was like, oh, this is cool. It plays a little bit differently, just differently enough where, where you're actually banging on these drums, which we've had drum ones before, and none of them have been good.
And you're guided by runes on the drums
Uh,
that you have to hit.
we had like what audio beats in Happy Drummer. Did we have any decent drum games on PSVR? I don't think we have.
No, not that I can think of. We've had good rhythm games, but like you said, not good rhythm games where you just get to beat the shit out of some drums.
Right. So the description of this is great. It says, "Are you ready to rock? Ragnarok is a solo/multiplayer VR rhythm game in which you play a Viking captain competing in a ship race. With your two hammers, crush the incoming runes in sync with the epic Viking music. Keep hitting the runes perfectly to accumulate combo energy with your hammers, and then you'll be able to activate a speed boost." Now, this is where like things to me start getting exciting because yeah, it's a rhythm game, but it's also sort of a racing game because this is how you make your ship go faster by building better and better combos and getting perfect hits, which is cool. Like it adds a whole nother dimension to the thing that you're doing. Right? It'd be one thing if it was just Beat Saber and you're like boom 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 doing your thing and trying to get a perfect score or just finish the song. Like I totally get that, but the fact that this is going to have multiplayer and they're working on making it crossplay with the existing platforms is awesome. Absolutely awesome. And like so not only am I
Well, I don't know. Is this going by the Steam page or what is this?
what
When you say cross-platform multiplayer, do we know that that's for PSVR specifically?
well
I want to back up on that.
right so when they
Just
tweeted
based.
about this,
Hmm.
they tweeted that they want to include crossplay.
Okay, that they want to include it. Okay, right. Yeah,
Right.
I think you're right. I remember now.
Let me just make sure I have that 100% here.
We'll do our They say we'll do our best to make it cross-platform for you. Let us know if you'll try Ragnarok on PlayStation. So, if you follow me on Twitter, if you follow Brian on Twitter, respond to the tweet. And I saw you responded to that, Brian. Cute little cat nodding his head, like yeah.
Oh,
Now I
sweet.
realize I need to respond to it and show them some support. Be like, yeah, because we need good games for the remainder of the year. We need as many good games on PSVR 1's not done yet, so we need games for it, and I'm excited about this.
and I feel like every moment that we talk about, I was about to call it Viking Days. Oh my god! Every time we talk about Ragnarok until it comes out, I'm gonna bury the lead, man. I know I'm gonna do it, so I'm just gonna get that out of the way right now and tell you guys I'm gonna bury the lead because here's why I'm really excited about this. And if you saw PSVR this week, then you already know. These guys, during an Upload VR showcase, announced Propagation Paradise Hotel, which looks like an amazing survival horror game. But they haven't announced what headset it's coming to. And
Oh, it's the same people.
Oh yeah, it's Wanted Dev
Oh,
team
okay.
or whatever. And
Oh,
so,
right, yeah.
and so I these guys were great. I DM'd them on Twitter and they were super receptive and we had a nice little conversation. And I said, "What's up with PSVR? Are you planning on bringing Propagation Paradise Hotel to PSVR?" And they said, "We're looking into it. We'll see what our possibilities are. Blah blah blah. We'll keep you posted." And so I feel like Ragnarok is sort of their test. And say if this works, then maybe we can bring our next game to PSVR. And Propagation Paradise Hotel is slated to launch late 2022. So it could be kind of like one of those great swan songs for PSVR, or potentially launch
Just a
title material for
PSVR2 launch
PSVR
title.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so this
It
is
looks
definitely
it looked more like a PSVR 2 game just because of the if I recall correctly, it had some like pretty nice graphics, and not that PSVR 1 can't have nice graphics because we've certainly seen that plenty of times, but you know, when it's so close to that launch, it might be better to go for that instead.
yeah. And I've really just got my fingers crossed that Sony's doing the right thing because I think if Sony knows what the the what's best for them and what's best for us and best for everybody, right, and best for developers, it would be to say, hey, bring your game to PSVR 1, Like, do us a favor and bring it to PSVR1, and then we'll allow you to like have that patched and ready to go for a PSVR2 launch title. Like, because I don't think they're letting just anybody through the door saying, yeah, you can totally be there at the PSVR2 launch. Like, you can't do that, right? I think Sony's kind of hand selecting the people they want at launch and then like letting everybody filter in a little bit later. And so, but to be able to say, hey, please do us a favor and bring your game to PSVR1, and we'll also let you be there technically as a PSVR2 updated, like a PSVR2 patch of your PSVR1 game. We'll let you be there to PSVR2 launch. I think that's sort of like the best of all worlds for everybody involved. And I really, really hope that's what Sony's doing right now behind the scenes.
Yep. All right, Brian. Well, really excited. Ragnarok, Wanna Dev. If you guys are listening, yes, we were excited. We're very excited. So can't wait to play this, and really looking forward to checking out. Before we get to 20 questions, Brian, I think we should run through. There is a huge sale going on, and we're not going to maybe go through the whole sale, but we
Wholesale.
do want to get a couple highlights from this sale in particular. What are your favorite picks
color
from the sale?
Well, just FYI, if anybody is interested in the entire sale, I'm gonna have a video out probably in the morning. I doubt it's gonna come out late tonight because I've been at it all day and I'm nowhere close to finishing. But probably tomorrow morning, I'll have a video out with all 34 games that are on sale, or 32 games, whatever it is. One by one, telling you if they're worth picking up at the sale price. But since we're here, AJ, and we're not there, dude, I think one of the best deals in the entire sale. And I think when does this end? The 16th, I believe.
Something like that, maybe.
Dirt Rally VR bundle is currently $4, man. $4.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, man, but like at launch, Dirt Rally flat screen was $60, and then they charged an additional $10 for the VR patch. And so this is a $70 game that you're now getting for $4, and it's one of the best racing games on PlayStation VR. Once you get used to your co-driver and how your co-driver gives you directions, it's better than a map. Like, it's better than seeing, I got to look at this map and see what turn's coming up. It's amazing. It's super difficult, high, like steep learning curve, but once you get it, it's amazing. $4, man. Like, you got to get
Dark
Rally
Souls
VR.
of racing games.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
let me tell you, sim racers. I know there's a lot of people that don't like sim racers. They like arcade racers, but let me tell you, once you get into them in VR, they're really cool. So great pick, probably the best pick, best deal. But there's a lot of amazing games in this sale, and there's a lot to choose from. So I'm gonna go with, just because I went and saw the movie recently, I'm gonna go with Batman Arkham VR for $4.99. Most of you probably have it. So if you have it and you haven't played it, it's time to play it. Expectations wise, look, it's a little short. It's not very action packed. It is gorgeous though, and it is pretty cool. It gets a little exciting towards the end. So that would be one of my picks to celebrate the new movie. And then I went and watched Batman Begins the day after I went and saw the Batman.
How does Begins hold up? Because
it's so good. It's incredible.
good. That's good.
Yeah,
to hear. I
yeah.
never stopped
Batman
down a little
Begins and Dark Knight are timeless classics. Amazing movies.
bit. Let's pretend like Rises doesn't exist.
No, I wouldn't say. What? I refuse.
Don't even talk to me about Rise. I think Rise is like fucking
The Rise,
trash
the
compared
high
to the rest of them.
rises. No, it's Rise has obviously had some development issues, casting issues, if you know what I mean. So they did what they could, and they did an admirable job.
I think my next choice is going to be a little bit surprising for some people, because most people know I'm not a big fan of. I love stand-up comedy, but I'm not a fan of comedy in general. And Trover Saves the Universe is everything I should have hated. Like Dan Harmon basically just going nonstop for like forever, really. Like, if you stand and just listen to characters talk in Trover Saves the Universe, just go on. Like, those characters will go on forever, right? And it's just ridiculous. It's so over the top. It's such dumb toilet humor, and I loved every second of it. I'm not even like a Rick and Morty fan. I know I should be, but I'm not. And so Trover, total shock to me. With Plus, it's only $9 instead of 30. If you don't have Plus, it's $12. But why don't you have Plus? I love it, man. I love just how fucking over the top it is, how edgy it is. It's a fun little third person platformer on top of everything. And I love the collectathon. I like the leveling up or the progression system. It's such a good time, and the DLC was just so different. I loved it.
I guess I'm trying to do something a little bit different here because there's lots of games. Although Arkham VR is not the really most different game. Let me just stick with something different than what I usually pick.
Okay.
Because I like to mix it up with these sales.
Go crazy.
I don't often recommend this on sale. I mean, I do, but it's not usually my top pick. But Iron Man VR is $15.99, and that's the cheapest I've seen it. So we're going DC and Marvel today. My two picks are going to be Batman Arkham VR for $4.99. A little bit more expensive, but Marvel's Iron Man VR for $15.99 with PlayStation Plus. It's a good price, and it's a solid game. It has its moments.
It does have its moments. Yep.
It has a lot of really good moments.
Oh, thank you, Braxbro. Yeah. Dan Harmon. It's not Dan Harmon. It's Justin Roiland, who did the script for Trover. Thank you.
I wish I was listening. I would have corrected you.
I was gonna say I like for as little as I know about Rick and Morty and shit. Like I've never gotten that wrong before. I'm just brain dead.
Yeah.
I probably got that wrong in my script too for the sale video. I might have to go back and fix that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Braxbro.
Dan Harmon from Community.
Yeah,
Pop.
And I guess we do. I'll do one more very, very quickly, and that is Doom 3 VR edition for $10, half price. Just, I mean, dude, $10, you get to dust off your own controller.
It's a great game. Horrible port.
I don't think it's a horrible port. I think the resolution could have been better, and the world scaling is off. But I mean, it's still all there. You get the DLC, you get the full game. I mean, it was really fun. Horrible port.
Great game.
I don't think it's a horrible port. I think it could. I think the port
I don't think.
could have
I
been
think the game
better.
is so good it outweighs how bad of a port it is, but it's a shit port. But it's a fantastic game in VR. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Donatello makes an excellent point, by the way. Is the physical for Iron Man is only $10, probably at Best Buy and shit. So like, so you can certainly get some of these games cheaper if you're a physical person.
Me.
Yeah.
Nice, good eye.
AJ, I think it's time for PSVR 20 questions. What do you think?
Yes.
Nice.
I hope you brought your thinking cap today.
This is not my thinking cap. This is my MCR cap, and there's no brains in here. Dude, I've been the absolute worst at this game.
Not many people are going to be able to know this one.
I already fucking quit, man. This is ridiculous. How it's like I've been so bad at this. I don't think I've gotten any of them. I've gotten some, but definitely last second with the cat's help.
We're on a losing streak right now, but that's okay.
All right. Well, hopefully I can get off this losing streak. I'm going to put 6 minutes up on the clock. That means you guys out there, I need all of your help. Really, like fucking enough with the jokes, right? Like stick with me and help me out because I'm really. There's no way I'm going to get this without you. AJ already said it's fucking hard mode, right? He just turned the difficulty up to 11. So like you guys really got to help me out. 20 questions, yes or no, to figure out what PSVR game AJ is thinking of, and apparently it's difficult. So let's do the 6 minutes and go. Does it have aim support?
Does not have aim support.
That would have been really fucking cool if it did. Is this more of an experience than a game?
I would say no.
Okay, this
is definitely a game.
A game, no aim support. Is it a puzzle game?
It's mostly a puzzle game, I'd say, yes.
Okay, puzzle mostly. Was this an early PSVR title, like in the first, let's say, 2 years?
I don't know.
No.
Wait, is that the release date? That really? Yeah, no. It's not in the first 2 years.
Okay. So like maybe it sounds like mid-cycle because you had to check. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Roy Schwartz. Is it first person?
It is first person. That is 5.
I just shut down. Do you do a lot of shooting in this game?
No.
Okay.
You don't do a lot of shooting in this game.
Okay, so far we know that it's a mostly puzzle game. Came out probably mid-cycle PSVR. It's first person. It's definitely a game, not an experience. Um, oh, okay. Let's knock out some of this shit. People are asking good questions. Is it? Does it have any horror elements?
No horror elements.
Okay. Okay, that takes care of chair in a room. Would Emily hate it? Is it a cartoony game?
I thought you said there was good questions.
No, these are good questions.
I'm not going to answer that because I don't really know.
You don't know if it's cartoony?
No, I don't. I can't really tell. No, I'm not going to count
we're
that.
not going to answer that question. Okay. Does it have any multiplayer aspect to it?
There's no multiplayer. There are some good questions.
You tried, Scott, but that's what you get for making fun of me. The whole show. Just kidding. Does it have full locomotion? Thanks, Fuzzy.
It does have full locomotion.
All right, well there goes the room. Okay, so it's got full locomotion. It's first person, mid life cycle, mostly a puzzle game. It's a game. Has this ever been on a top 25 list?
No. It's 10.
Is it a bad game?
It's not a bad game. No.
Okay. Not bad, but not top 25. So a mid-tier, mid-cycle game. all you are is history. How many platformers do we know in first person? There's like Windlands, right? How many more are there? Help me out, man.
It is kind of a platformer. I'll count that. 12.
But I didn't ask that question.
Platforming.
I didn't ask you that question.
I thought you did.
I did not ask you that question. You
were like on the verge.
I was asking all you are is history.
I'd say it's puzzling and platforming in first person. Yeah.
Okay.
With full locomotion.
Puzzle,
need all the help you can
platform. I guess I need all the help I can get. Okay. Well, I guess we accidentally asked a good question.
There is some platforming.
Thanks.
Yes.
Okay. Now Zing has definitely been on the
top 25. Yeah.
On top 25. Does it have move support?
It does have move support.
Okay.
It was added later.
Whoa, that's a huge hint. That's a huge hint. A move. Hold on a second. I think we have everything we need. What game added move support later? There was like Megaton Rainfall added move support later. The Funkadelic. That's a good question. Was it made by Secret Location?
It was not made by Secret Location.
There goes Transpose.
14. Transpose had move support at launch. It added smooth turning later.
That's what it was. Okay. Do you drive any vehicles in this game?
Ooh. Do you drive vehicles in this game? Do you? I don't think so. No. I hope I'm not wrong. I don't think so though.
Okay, it's not Kona because there's a lot of truck driving in that game.
Definitely not. No.
Okay, gonna run out of time here again.
15.
Yeah, not horror. So any game that you play as a blind person those are all horror games. Do you do any grappling in this game? To move around?
Do you do any grappling?
Because Windlands definitely added move support, but that's not a puzzle game.
No, it's. I don't think you do grappling. You do something kind of similar, but no, I don't think so. Any grappling?
This is terrible.
Almost
man.
a similar mechanic, but no.
Is it in space?
It's in space, yes.
It's in space. We just ran out of time.
I mean, well, kind of. I mean, what is that? Like out in space? Like no, it's not like out in outer space, but
I don't know what that answer means. I'm out of time, man. I fucking lost. What game was it?
The game came out. January 14th, 2020 by White Elk LLC. It is Eclipse Edge of Light.
That's right.
Which fun fact, it's like an average game. It's like 2 hours long. It's not horrible. It's not great. It's a serene puzzle, really easy puzzles though. Kind of platforming, serene game. And yeah, fun fact: the guys that run White Elk helped create the original God of War games. Just a fun VR trip.
What happened to you, White Elk? First this, and then Covert, and then was it that was their follow up to this, right? It was Covert.
Was
that them? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
it was Covert. I'm glad you didn't ask that question because I would have said no.
Let's see. Right. In hindsight, you cheated.
I actually have a review on this game.
It's crazy. Yeah, this wasn't bad. This came out during an early, I think it must have been like January, February, right? Where it was just like absolute dead time for PSVR. And then and it was like this and Separation were like really the only two games that were coming up, and we're like, and they look so similar to each other on the surface.
It was a rough time period.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, this was okay, I guess. And Separation, I was like, this was fucking amazing. But yeah, I remember this just being like a saving grace, being like, we just need anything. We just want to play anything. It was a bad time in PSVR history. I feel like we're in a better time right
in general.
now. Yeah.
If you feel bad about what's going on right now, go look at the first couple months of 2020, both in VR and outside of VR.
There's some dry times. There's some dry times for sure. And anyone in the chat, I think Scott Jessica and a couple other people were saying there's just too fucking hard of a game to pick. Johnny No Park says he doesn't even know that one. Flame Hat says I've never heard of it. And but
it was going to be difficult.
But the fact is like AJ and I have played all these games, and we know all of these, and like we really do need to challenge each other. And I should, and that should be.
Every now and then I throw you a hard one.
Yeah, for me, I should have been able to get that. It just, I don't know, man. Like every time we start this game, I can't think of any PSVR game, like at all.
It's a tough one, man.
Yeah, the second the pressure is on, man, it's like I just fucking blank entirely, and I'm like, I can't think of it. Like, you gave me all the clues, and I'm like, I can't think of any PSVR game that matches all those clues at all. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Always a fun way to start the week off by hanging out with the cats. We love you oh so very much. Don't forget to help this guy out over here. You can subscribe to AJ at PSVR Underground. He does stuff on his channel, I swear, and maybe even one Saturday he'll do stuff again.
There is a rumor mill that Saturday Night Live streams are coming back.
Yep. And stay tuned with that Parole, because I'll have a sale video up hopefully tomorrow morning. And we've got a lot of cool stuff planned for the rest of the week. Obviously, Camouflage is putting out Republic on Thursday. And so I'll have a review ready for Thursday and a developer interview regarding Republic on the same day. So look forward to that. Please watch it. Developer interviews never get watched. And watch the Wins and Leaves one. 600 views, man. That's like the lowest viewed video on like the entire channel. It is also coincidentally the last developer interview I did. I was like, no one cares about these, and then I realized, no one just cares about Wins and Leaves. It's a shame. But guys, thank you so much. So many people help this channel run, including Jamie-Ow, Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, all the mods out there who help us not just here but over on Discord. So make sure you join us on Discord, be part of those Sunday multiplayer meetups, and all that great stuff. Thank you to everybody who tried to help me with 20 questions. Thank you to everybody who donated today. Thank you to everybody who supports us on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who watched the show. Didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. AJ, can I keep the cat?
Cue the cat, Bryan, because I want to say see you guys Wednesday to Jazzy J, the Terra Mage Game Cat. Thank you. You have a great night as well. Twitcher, the I Love Swordsman now. Game Cat still loves Swordsman. It's shocking. Stupid Donkey, what's up, homie? All you are is Dr. Seuss, the Game Cat in the hat. Meow. I've heard a rumor that AJ now has a bionic toe. No. Mark Pringlesleaf says, is the toe fully recovered? Not yet, but it's very close. I can walk on it now. I'm not in pain every night. It's really a lot of progress. I'm excited. Also, drink and drink. Be triple. Do God's work as always. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. Enthusiasm enthusiast. stay enthusiastic, my friend. Dark Angel 3, thanks so much. Scott Disco PSN, Hairfell, PSVR, Game Cat for Life. Does it have AJ playing games on Saturday in it? I can't wait. Oh, Ben L of the Game Cat Armies of Dread Halls is waiting, which makes me not really look forward to Saturday Night Live coming back at all. Maybe I should postpone it some more. Flame Hat, the Game Cat. I hope you have a great week, my friend. Neon Crew, you too as well, my friend. Just in time. It's easy to forget how many VR games are out there. Yes, and that is a burden that we bear. that is a yeah. You don't want to play every VR game. Trust me, it's better not to play every single one. Blue Jew, the Underground Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house. Thank you so much. Glad you enjoyed the show. Purple Hawk back to you. Guys, on Facebook to you. Jez, let's see here. Stingray X, good to talk to you earlier, my friend, and kicking it in the Discord. Make sure you guys all join the Discord. I'll be streaming lots of Elden Ring in there, so come check it out. Brax, bro. Can't believe 2020 can now be considered the middle of the PSVR's lifespan. Time flies, you know. Yes, it does. Pretty crazy. The Funkadelic Game Cat, GG, homie. JC, the inimitable, dual-wielding ass kicking Game Cat. Love to all the cats in the chat. Love to you as well, my friend. Fuzzy Bear 927, GG to you as well. Time to play with Game Cats. Time to play, homie. Lose reviews says that's a mean pick. It's a PSVR game. I don't know what else. He did Surgeon Simulator on me. I take it relatively easy. I usually
wait listen, man. I was defending you, and then you bring up Surgeon Sim, a game that was on the top 10 sales chart for like literally the first 4 years of the life cycle.
Well, I'm just saying there's deep cuts, you know. I still
Surgeon
think that's a deep cut. That's less of a deep cut than this, yeah.
Surgeon Sim.
But yeah, once you get to like, you know, Dext and some of these other ones, I'm so screwed. But Gabriel Double Full License Meow, Game Cat, and Meow Meow. Meow Meow.
So funny.
Meow Meow.
It's so funny you brought up Dext because that was the only game I could think of before we started 20 questions. I was like, Dext. And I eliminated that pretty quickly.
Decent game. Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory's what, first and only VR game?
Yeah, absolutely. And last, considering that Microsoft bought them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually liked it, but it's nothing special, but I liked it.
Okay. When do you think...
It's better than Eclipse Edge of Light.
Scott Jessica says haptics in your head. Let's go. When do you think we're going to get haptics in our pants?
Yeah. Now we're asking the real questions.
Now, I mean, this is like the future that Lawnmower Man promised us. Where is it? I need it desperately. All right, let's get let's get out of here.